Guys, if you like honey, this video will make you extremely angry. What if I told you the honey which you have in your kitchen right now is most likely part of a huge food fraud? Honey is one of the most, if not the most, faked foods in the world. You might just be pouring over pure sugar syrup on your breakfast. And in this video, I want to tell you the dangers and the big frauds behind honey. I'm exposing the great honey fraud. And I don't only want to fearmonger, I want to tell you how to get the real stuff, how to get the good stuff. Stick around until the very end. I will give you an easy way how to test whether honey is actually real or fake and whether honey is the good stuff or not. I will give you an easy checklist and an easy test you can do at home. Let's get straight into it because honey can be superfood. First of all, let's talk about the fraud, the dangers before we go into the amazing benefits of honey and then how you can test at home whether it's the real stuff. First of all, the honey industry has a very sticky secret. Cheap honey is often diluted with sugar syrup or blended from multiple originals. In fact, there are many farms which are feeding their bees sugar syrup. That is another one. And in fact, testing shows that over 90% of honey in UK supermarkets may be fake. Over 90%, ladies and gentlemen. I'll leave you the sources in the video description down below as always. And nearly half of imported honey in the European Union is adulterated. This is crazy. So why is this such a big deal? Because fake honey is basically just sugar. You might as well buy cheap sugar and get the same effect with none of the real honey's benefits, and there are many of those. Big producers often heat the honey. Even if it's real honey, if you heat it or they ultra filter it, then they are destroying all of these beautiful natural enzymes in honey. These 20% enzymes, 80% is fructose and glucose, but 20% are enzymes, and they are making the whole difference. Heating honey actually keeps honey clear and liquid on store shelves. And that is, of course, why so many people are doing it or so many companies are doing it. But it actually wipes out the pollen. It wipes out all of these other good compounds and enzymes. What is left behind is basically just sugar syrup that spikes your blood sugar high, increases insulin, just like table sugar. That is, of course, very bad news for your metabolic health. So what is the benefits of honey? Before I go into what I teased in the beginning, a very easy test to see whether your stuff is the good stuff. And just don't think that you are buying these hives and then like you already get the good stuff. No, it's not that easy, guys. Luckily, real raw honey actually has amazing benefits. Unprocessed raw honey can be a genuine superfood for your health. In fact, one randomized controlled trial found a spoonful of honey at bedtime soothed the kids' coughs as effectively as just normal cough syrup. That is crazy, right? And in 2022 clinical trial actually showed that raw honey lowered fasting blood glucose and bad LDL cholesterol while raising the HDL. There's even evidence that local raw honey can ease seasonal allergies. For that, you need to buy local honey, but more about that later on. In short, authentic honey can boost your health, but only if you get the real stuff and not the imposter. So how to get the real stuff? Let's get straight into it. So the checklist is how to get the good stuff to reap all of these benefits and avoid the fakes. Number one, choose raw and unpasteurized honey. Look for raw on the label, not heated. This is important, and I will tell you how to test for that, of course, also because the label can lie even. Raw honey isn't heated and it retains the beneficial enzymes, which is very important, and pasteurized honey doesn't do that. Check the source. Pick single origin and local honey. I would tell you is go to a local producer. That is the best thing you can do. This already sets you apart from all of these dangers in the supermarket, right? Honey blended from multiple countries. If it is a blend, most likely that is a big red flag for adulteration. Look for crystallization. Real raw honey crystallizes, turns cloudy or solid over time. If honey stays clear and runny, it may have been ultra filtered and adulterated. And then, of course, buy reputable honey purchased from a trustworthy beekeeper or brands in your local farmers. That is the best thing you can usually do. Remember that real honey isn't dirt cheap. honey should be not very cheap. It should have a price tag to it. Too low price is usually a big signal for me for a red flag. But the best thing you can do if you buy honey which actually check marks the things I mentioned before, take a spoonful of honey, just a teaspoon, put it into a cup of water, and if it dissolves easily, that is a sign that maybe you're not getting the real stuff. If it goes down in one and stays as this like solid honey on the bottom of the jar, even if you are shaking it around, that is a great test for you, if the other check marks are fulfilled, having the real stuff. If you like honey, let me know in the comment section down below. If this is new news for you, share this video with a friend who also likes honey. Of course, subscribe to the channel right here and watch this very important video about olive oil. This will be crazy. And as always, guys, bye.